Hello, my spooky friends, and welcome. Today, I have a budget friendly makeup for you to try. I'm going to show you how I created this Diamond Glam Skull Makeup using drugstore products that you can easily go buy, or chances are you already have this in your makeup collection. I'm using foundation, two colors of eyeshadow, eyeliner. Now, the diamonds that I'm using for this look, they come from Wet n Wild. It's part of their fantasy makeup makers collection, and they always have these around Halloween. You'll see them come out with the designs behind the rhinestones to give you a guide about how to use it. Are they easy to use? Are they worth your time? Let's find out. So go ahead and shop your stash and come back and we'll get into it. Filling for where the bones stop in my jaw, I go in and place a line. Just something a little bit whimsical for this design because this is more like an ethereal type of skull because of the rhinestones and the flakes. So instead of making just a stark black spot, I'm going in with a couple of different shapes and moving that around the jaw area. Now this is the Wet n Wild Fantasy Maker line. It comes with the rhinestones and the design behind it, so I'm trying to stick to the design around the nose so that it looks similar to what I see on the package. This is a black eyeliner. It is a wet eyeliner that comes from Kavisi Beauty. And I go in and make shapes around the area of the neck and chest. Now using NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop and a foundation that's several shades too light, I go in with a dry sponge and I tap this all over the face, neck, and the chest area because this is still going to allow me to see the shapes that I put up underneath. I then set everything with Wet n Wild's setting powder, and then this palette is Witch Potion, which was gifted to me at Christmas time by my bestie, and I'm using three colors: the black, the purple, and the white. It also comes with a gray, a blue, and a shimmer blue. But I'm sticking to these three colors for today. I'm going in with a dense brush and I'm packing in this black just above the crease in the eyelid and making sure I go all the way around, so I want to cover the inner and the outer corners. I wanted this to take on the shape of sockets, but I did not want to block out the eyebrows. I wanted this to be a little bit more beginner friendly. So in taking the black, I go over the areas that I marked in my shapes on my face. I also do this going into the chest area and around the collarbone. Now I'm not exactly too sure what I'm going to do in the chest area, so right now I'm just kind of winging it until it comes together. I know I want to use these flakes and purple. I wanted the purple to come into this look because it's good for Halloween, the black and the purple, but I also wanted it to be this glowing effect, so I'm buffing in this purple around the areas of the black just to smoke it out a little bit and to bring in that color that you can see it a little bit more. And on a smaller rounded tipped brush, this is a flat brush, and I'm going in and putting that all over the nose as well, just something that's a little bit glowy. Just think as the purple about being an accent color that's going to work with the diamonds because they're iridescent. Then I go in on a smaller brush and I put some shapes around the top of the skull. I'm not too concerned with it being extremely opaque because I'm using a cloak that's going to cover up that portion, but just in order for the camera to pick everything up as a skull, just a little bit more on the top of the forehead. Now I'm going in with black and darkening up the areas around the chin and also the bone area around into the neck. Now I like to layer my looks, even using eyeshadow, so I tend to go over it once or twice, so I do a pass over a little bit. And for the neck area to hide it and to make those bones in the neck and the spine stick out, I go in and just put some more purple and some more black to make sure that everything comes forward and I'm pushing the other things back. I get my ears covered with some black paint because I don't want them to show at all. And now that I got a good idea, I'm going in and placing the connection from the topper portion. So from each side of the cheek area, I go in and push a line up to the corner of the lip at the top, and then up underneath the chin, taking on the shape that's actually in this Fantasy Makers line. And I'm not worried about the neck area being a little bit mottled. That's going to add to the ethereal, so I don't get too hung up on making things extremely opaque unless that's the look that you're going for. And with a little bit of waterliner, I press that into the center portion of the upper and the bottom lip just a little bit, so when I put in my white using a rounded flat tip brush, I can see that it adds to the dimension, so I don't have to sit there and guess about where to put every single line to separate the teeth. It just makes it a little bit more softer, and that's what I'm going for instead of the stark white and the black that's precision in skull makeup. So this is a softer, ethereal type of look. And I'm going in and making sure that the teeth are opaque. And I'm switching brushes, so the teeth in the middle is the thicker brush and the smaller teeth is a thinner and a less wide brush. Remember, it's good to use the brushes for the areas that which you need. Now I'm going in and adding a little bit of purple and black to separate the teeth just a little bit more so in the center, because that's where I'm placing those diamonds. And then going in with a small fluffy brush, I'm putting some shadow up underneath the teeth on the bottom layer, mixing purple and black on the bottom and purple up at the top. In order to add some more dimension, I'm popping in a little bit of white along the bone area, so lifting it up with a highlight to make it separate between the black. I also go down into the neck area as well as the collarbone. I go back in for another pass to darken up the area around the outside, so now I really know that I want the center purple to come through on the neck spine. I'm making sure that that black is a little bit more opaque, and also the collarbone is also getting a lot of good highlight and contrast, and I'm setting it with the black eyeshadow. I then go back in with the purple, making sure that I go back in to bring that glow of purple. It also center focuses from the eyes down to the nose to the gems, and it carries the eye all into the neck, making sure to hit that collarbone with another pass of purple, and then also another pass of highlight with the white in the eyeshadow palette. Now the Wet n Wild's Fantasy Maker, they run about $4 in season and on their website, and after season they can go about $2 a piece, sometimes even less. But I did find that the design did not come off as one design, so I had to pick and pull certain pieces to get this to fit my face. So I decided to go with the little diamonds that had a shape on each side going toward the teeth, and then the portion of the nose. Now this piece did set well and the glue came off pretty easy, but what I was finding using this was not everything came off at one time, and if it did come off, it came off without the glue. Now if you have eyelash glue, go ahead and use that to secure this, especially if you're going to be out eating and drinking all night long at a party. But I find that if you don't have it and this situation happens, you can actually peel the glue off the paper, put that back onto the gem itself, and then continue to apply it. But I just went back and forth with the eyelash glue that has a bristled brush, and then using my tweezers to get everything settled into place. Now I want anything to be extremely centered focused, so I placed the diamonds 4 on the top and the bottom, letting the other white teeth kind of bleed out and get a little bit more softer going out toward the face. Now you guys know that I am the gem sticker queen, and I think honestly that if you go to the Dollar Tree and you pick up an entire pack for $1.25, you get a lot more color, and I find that it lifts up off the cellophane a lot easier than this does. So I think for your money and for your color and your variations, instead of using Wet n Wild, I think you should just go and pick it up at the Dollar Tree. Now this jaw piece is the only one that actually came up at all, so I was very happy about that because they were small little gems and I didn't want to have to stick all those small ones on. It would have taken forever, but I would have done it. But they did come up, so that part I was happy about. And the gem piece in the center came up pretty good, and I did not have to use any lash glue for that. Okay, so about at this point, I've been into it for a couple hours and my sugar is getting extremely low. So it was a time for a Kit Kat break. Very much needed, so now I know that this design stays pretty well when you're eating, so that was another good part of it. Now these iridescent flakes I got from ColourPop several years ago. They needed to be used, and I thought this is a great way to pack that onto the bones and then onto the collarbones as well, and I used glitter glue to secure it. Now it's time for the cloak. So here is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this one today. I love doing skull makeups because they're so versatile. You can do so many different things. You can block out the eyebrows. You can use just heavy contrast, highlight, and shadows. But you can see you can make them very beautiful. You can use gems. You can use several different colors. There is no limitations as to what you can do. The only thing you need to do is make sure that you push in some shadow around the cheekbone area, darken up that nose, and make some kind of dark around the eyes. So let me know if you want to see more skull makeup like this. And for sneak peeks and behind the scenes, find me on my other socials. And now that you've mastered this glam skull makeup, why not hang out for this next video, hone your skill, and kick it up a notch with another black and white skull. That's a wrap. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you guys later.